What a roundtable is. The roundtable is a gathering of adult scouters designed to give and receive information about the scouting program, provide a forum for discussion and troubleshooting, and to provide training so that they in turn can provide the best possible program for their units. Roundtables are usually held monthly within each district and are typically attended by each unit's adult leadership. And this includes Cub Masters, Assistant Cub Masters, Den Leaders, Scout Masters, Assistant Scout Masters, unit committee members, and charter organization representatives. Ideally, each unit should have representation in attendance, and each of you should make sure that your unit's leadership are in fact attending roundtables. In addition, any interested parent is also invited and encouraged to attend. Our thought is that the more people with good information, the better. Usually during a roundtable, there is a breakout portion for those involved with Cub Scouts in one room and those involved with Scouts BSA in another room. Information and discussion specific to each of these programs are conducted at that time. In a moment, we will be...
Okay, so I'm going to go over the recharter process with you guys. The link at the bottom of the page will be on the council website, and you can refer to that as you're working through the internet rechartering. Only one person from each unit should be handling the recharter. And so you guys need to figure that out with your unit to figure out who's in charge of the recharter process. So when you log on to overlandtrailscouncil.org, you scroll down on the right hand lower side is internet rechartering. So you're going to click on that to start the recharter process. This does not open until November 1st. And so you can't log on there and start until November 1st. Before that though, middle of October, we will be mailing you a packet that will include a roster of everybody that's registered. And so what I like to do with my unit is have each person check their name, their address, their phone number, their birthday, an email address, and then initial by it or make corrections on that paper. And that way, when it opens on November 1st, if there's any changes that need made, then you can go in and make those changes. Okay. So once you get into the internet rechartering process, you're going to go to register as a first-time user. Even if you did the recharter process last year, you still need to start as register first-time user this year because you're going to have a different code to use. That code will be provided to one person, and they'll enter that on the next page. So this is the PowerPoint that will be on the website that you can refer to as you go through. I'm just kind of going to touch on some highlights of things that we see missed or that we get a lot of questions about. Yep. So this is where you're going to enter that access code that will be mailed in an envelope to the committee chairman or the charter rep or whoever's going to do the recharter process. So you'll enter that access code, the unit type, and the unit number, and then click to continue. Like I said, I'm not going to walk through the whole national system, but we're going to put that website up on overlandtrailscouncil.org so you can refer to it if you have questions. Okay. This is the letter that's going to be mailed to one person, and on there it says use Google Chrome because Internet Explorer does not work for the internet rechartering process. I also am not sure if you can do it on a phone. I know the computer seems to work a lot better to do your rechartering. So again, it doesn't open up till November 1st, so you can start working on that. When you get done going through the whole recharter process, it's steps that you work through. And if you work on it for 30 minutes and then you have to run and do something, at the right hand top corner, you're going to log out. It looks like a little settings button. It's a little gear, and you're going to log out. And then the next time you log in, you'll be able to go right back into where you left off. And so that's a question that a lot of people ask. And so, yes, you don't have to do this all in one sitting. You can do it in several different times. Okay. Once you get done doing that, you do need to print the unit charter renewal report and turn it in, get it signed and turn it into the council office, one of the council offices. Okay. So these are the required registered adults. A lot of times we have smaller units and they need to know how many adults do I have to have registered. And so you have to have an institution head, a charter representative, a committee chairman, a cub master or scout master, 2 committee members, and 1 den leader for the pack. Okay. The charter representative is the only registered adult that can be registered in more than 1 position in that same unit. They may also serve as a committee chairman or a committee member. On here, I've just highlighted that unit liability insurance, that's council fee is going to be $75 this year, I believe. So, yeah, the recharter, yeah. Okay, bypass that. Okay, this talks about the annual charter agreement. We include this in the packet that will come to you. So 1 time a year, you need to go and visit with your whoever charters your unit. They help use scouting to further the chartered organization's aims and values for youth. The unit works with the chartered representative to figure out the schedule that works with both organizations for use of the facility. And the chartered representative is an important person because they have to sign all of the adult applications. And, you know, it's really important that they are visiting with those people, you know, and making sure that they're comfortable signing. Sometimes if you're struggling to find a new scoutmaster or a new cub master or a new leadership of some sort, you can visit with that chartered organization and see if they have anyone in their school or their church that would be interested in helping the scouting program out. So, you know, we don't exist if it's not for volunteers. So on here, people screw up the signatures at the bottom of the page quite often. And so I just want to highlight that first line is for the chartered organization. So that could be the pastor of the church. That could be the chartered representative, but someone from that organization. The second line is your BSA local council. So that one will be blank when you turn it into the council office. Okay. And then that third line is signed by the chartered representative. Sometimes the first and third line are signed by the same people. Other things that the annual charter agreement does, it assures adults are selected to serve as leaders are suitable for such. It ensures appropriate use of the facility for the unit for regular meetings to facilitate the aims of the chartered organization and scouting. And they also encourage the registered adult to complete BSA training. Some organizations also require another training, youth protection related. You know, if it's a church facility, sometimes they'll require that of the scouting leaders also. Okay, so as you're going through figuring out who all's going to be registered, make sure every leader that you want rechartered has a current application and have current youth protection. So the national doesn't open for recharter until November 1st. So in the meantime, try to encourage everybody to complete their youth protection. 2 years ago, everybody was required to go back and redo their youth protection. A lot of people waited until the end of December to do it, and then people couldn't get onto the website to do it. So encourage your units to be getting on and completing their youth protection training. along with all of the other registered training. Our council would like to see 90% of our leaders trained at least. And so I encourage everybody to go to my.scouting.org and take the training for whatever leadership position you're registered for. You know, if you're a committee member, there's committee challenge and several different trainings that you need to take. Training is strongly encouraged by all leaders and offered online and in person. One note is Lion and Tiger adult parents do not need to fill out the adult application unless they want to be on the committee or be a leader. So they will automatically pull the information off of the youth's application for Lion and Tiger adult parents. So you don't have to have them fill out a separate application for that. Okay.
You gotta have, you have to be current with youth protection. You cannot recharter. National will not allow a recharter if all your adult leaders are not current with youth protection training.
And does that youth protection training have to be done yearly?
No,
Everybody
it's every 2 years.
yearly?
Every 2 years.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
And the only person that does not have to take youth protection is your institution head. They don't have to fill out an adult application. I believe that's accurate. So on the adult application, a lot of people miss that right-hand column with all of the questions. We need the applications filled out completely. We have to have their driver's license number and social security number and the accurate birthday on there in order for us to be able to put it in the system. Okay. Along with that, they have to sign, giving us a release so that they can do the background checks. And that's also in there. Make sure if you have registered before and you're just switching leadership positions, you don't have to fill out a new adult application. You can fill out a transfer leadership position instead. And that way we don't get duplicate numbers. Because once you get duplicate numbers, it's hard to recharter and it's hard to figure out which number you're supposed to be using. So all those adult applications need signed by the charter representative. So youth applications, all youth must have a current registration on file. Again, please check with the district or council office to see if they already have a registration number. If the youth is transferring into Boy Scouts or another unit, they must also fill out the same application. And at the bottom of it, you can flip to the next slide. You're going to just mark that it's a transfer application. But a lot of times, the kids that are crossing over from Cub Scout program to the Boy Scout program, if they don't fill out this transfer application, they're going to get dropped at recharter time because the Cub Scout program doesn't have them in their group and they'll be dropped and then they'll have to fill out a new application again. So they just need to fill out this application and mark it as a transfer and into what unit they're transferring to. There is no cost if they do this in the middle of the year, like in February, March, when a lot of the kids are crossing over. They've already paid for the year, and so they don't have to pay for that transfer application. Okay?
If you have some Cub Scouts that are new to your unit, or if you've signed up a new Scouts BSA Scout in your unit, make sure these are in. You should have somebody tracking membership, because if you do that, we'll get it entered before they, then it'll show up on your recharter. Otherwise, you're going to have to go in and enter all of this data. And so we can do that for you and do it much easier. But make sure if you've got Cub Scouts attending, they're going to join. I've got an application, but I just haven't mailed it in, or I'm waiting for one signature. Get that wrapped up. It'll make your job a lot easier.
Yeah, don't wait for recharter, because then any awards that they're earning won't be counted until their application is actually in. So this is the national fees this year. Effective August 1st for all new members, they charge a $25 one-time fee to join. The price for renewing members will be $66 per year for the Cub program, the Scout BSA, Venturing, and Exploring Post. No, $42 for Exploring Post, I apologize. And then for adults, it's $42 a year. Along with this, we also have the council fee, which is 20, is it 24? Yeah, $24. And that is prorated depending on when you register. Adult fee is $42 and they do not get charged that council fee. The unit recharter fee used to be $40. It's $75 now for the whole pack or troop, the whole unit. It's a one-time, once a year recharter. So again, just another way to break it down. Youth registration, $66. That is prorated depending on when they register. So if you have a kid that joins in May, the price is going to be $550 times whatever month. And then Boys Life is $12. So it's $1 a month. Council fee, $24. Again, that's prorated depending on when they register. The new member fee for anyone that registers from here on out will be $25. That is not prorated. So that's one time, that's a $25 fee. And the adult fee is $42. And then the charter fee for units with recharter is $75. One thing I would like to mention here, and I think I have it farther down in the slide also, if you have someone who is on WellCare, WellCare will pay for the registration, but it does not cover that council fee or that new member fee. And so they have to get the voucher, a new voucher during recharter. So every year they're going to have to get that voucher from WellCare, and that is the person's responsibility to get that and turn it in with the recharter process. Okay. In the packet, we also include the Journey to Excellence. This tool is used to evaluate the pack or the troop, either one. It talks about advancement. It talks about camping, planning and budgeting, and you get scored according to how you're doing. You know, how many meetings do you have each month? I know we've heard a lot of units that aren't meeting as often because of the COVID. Do it over Zoom. You know, anyone can get on and get a Zoom account and use it for an hour a week, and you're still meeting, and you can do all kinds of fun activities. You know, research a little bit and see what other people are doing. We played Kahoot for one of our meetings, and it's a game that the kids play in school, and so they all knew how to do it, and it was a lot of fun. So try to research, find other ideas to keep the program alive and going. You know, we have units that haven't met since March and they're falling apart. You know, kids want to be doing stuff. They want to be active. And so encourage those units to get out and find something to do.
It also helps you track advancements, encourages you. We get some units that only turn in advancements once a year. That should be done as the scouts earn them. Either the Cubs or the Scouts BSA scouts should turn those in, and that's another measure on there. Not only measures how you're doing, but we as a district and the council also get measured on how well you're doing. And so when a commissioner comes for a visit or somebody gives you a call, they may run down through this and ask you some of these questions as to how you're doing. I think there is on a Scout Talk. Is there not there's a tracking mechanism for it. So it'll fill that out for you. And then at recharter time, it becomes a very simple process.
The next slide just goes over similar thing. It's for the troop. Again, you know, they're looking at your camping nights. They're looking at membership, you know, how many kids are staying in the program, if they're crossing over from Webelos to Boy Scouts. You know, our membership is down huge and we need to be out there trying to recruit as much as we can. Yeah, and community services on there. Yep. So here's some key points that I wanted to point out, you know, that we see that are missed. Again, when you get the thing mailed to you with your roster, verify each person's name, address, phone number, email, birthday. For the birthday, it only lists the month and the month and the day. It doesn't list the year. Go ahead and jot the year in there. We had an incident this year where a kid was turning 18, but in the registration, it said he was only turning 17. And so that can cause a lot of trouble when you're going to work on your Eagle Scout. So we need to make sure those things are all kept up to date. Also, you know, we can't keep in contact with you if your address changes, your phone number, your email. So make sure those things are kept up to date. If you happen to move in the middle of the year, send us a note. And so we can make sure we get the correct address and stuff so we can mail the postcard so you know what's going on. We have a lot of great opportunities in the council that you can be taken in. Also note if you want Boys Life magazine during the recharter. So there's a little box that's going to say Boys Life and you mark yes or no on that. If you want 100% Boys Life, the unit wants that. You only have to have one kid per family in order to get that Boys Life, 100% Boys Life. Make sure the signatures are signed by the correct people. Again, start now to verify all leaders are current on their youth protection. And then again, if someone is dual registered, they only have to pay with one unit. Choose the one that they want the most information about. Packets will be mailed out around October 15th. And then National doesn't allow you to start working on the recharter until November 1st. Recharters are due to the council by December 15th. When you've completed all the information to recharter your unit, you're going to hit that submit button and print the unit recharter renewal report package. That includes a charter renewal application, a list of new members, transfer multiples, and no fee adults. And then also, if you have any new applications, we need the applications turned in at the same time, along with the fee payment to the council or district office. Fees can only be put on the unit account if pre-approved by the Scout Executive Dave Plond. Again, if you have well care, it's the family's responsibility to go get the new voucher with your and turn it in with the recharter paperwork. And if you feel that there's a family who needs financial assistance, they need to call Dave Plond at the council office at 308-382-3717 and see what assistance is available. We do have some scholarship money available for that. So do I have any questions? Again, I did not go through the national rechartering information. It's a 40-page sheet, and that link will be up on the website, so you can go to that, and it walks you step by step through the process, so you know what to click on. You know, it's a step 1, step 2, step 3. Oh, they can't see it.
I'll put it up. I'll put up. I can go to another share here, I think.
But it explains it very clear how to do each step of the way. Again, get those applications turned in to us as soon as possible. That helps so that we enter the information for you, the address, the phone number, all that, and you don't have to. If you work on it for a little while and then you log out and go back in, make sure you're rechecking to make sure that the roster is the most current roster. You know, if you've turned any applications in, you got to make sure and check that roster so that you have the most current one. If you do it online, do you have to get physical signatures for those forms? Yes, you do.
That's why we need them mailed in.
So there's all kinds of frequently asked questions on that link that you'll be able to go to and have your questions answered. Any other questions?
It's not what it said at the BSA site.
There's a spot that you can go, right, to look up all the must-have people, like you were saying, institution head and all of those. There's somewhere.
Yeah, they'll be listed on that. When you pull up the roster, once you get onto the website, it'll say, you know, MC for committee member, IH for institution head, CR for charter rep. It tells what they're registered as. And again, if they want to switch their leadership position, they don't need to fill out a new application. They just need to fill out their transfer.
Okay, so if
or
we
change
don't
of-
have a position open before before this time comes to enter it, how can we find the positions that we have to have?
I think
Like
as soon
before
as you get
November
your packet, you'll have that login information.
1st. Uh-huh.
And I would try to go to the site and see if it'll open up then. It may not submit until November 1st, but I would see what need to be done.
I don't think they can even get onto it until
Okay.
November 1st.
In the meantime, we would go back and take a look at who needs youth protection training. Will they be able to print a roster? I suppose we could.
Dave will mail them a roster from Grand Island.
So around October 15th, you'll be getting a roster with it. That's a good time to go down through that roster and verify addresses, birth dates.
And if you have people that have dropped out, draw a line through them. It will ask you why they dropped out. If it was, you know, because they moved, if it was because change of interest, like sports. And they want you to call and follow up with them and make sure that they're for sure don't want rechartered.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the text questions says that not what the BSA national site said when they rechartered last year about needing signatures on those documents. But what we have been told is that they have to have the physical signatures.
In the office.
Yeah, it becomes more critically important, especially in light of what's going on. So we're going to proceed as such. The other thing that does by printing them and sending them, we find a few deficiencies now and then, such as missing contact information, or maybe somebody that doesn't have youth protection, and we can stop it and give them a call and get that done before it's submitted. So we kind of act as a bit of a fail safe, if you will, on that.
Okay. And so when you send out the roster, it'll come with a list of what the codes mean.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was on that one of those first pages that I was showing you. You
Uh-huh.
probably can't see it very good, but it has what the codes are on that unit renewal application instructions.
Okay.
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 And this one from the national office walks you right through it. And it even, you can see it tallies up your fees and so forth.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if Tammy was able to get in the office or ask you about like a training report.
We'll get that to you.
Oh, good,
Yeah,
thanks.
I asked her earlier.
Thank you.
Yep. So this is how you add the new members if you haven't gotten the application turned in. If you stop right there, Jim. Up at the top right is the little gear that I was telling you, and that's where you're going to go to log out. If you're, you know, you work on it for 30 minutes and you have to go pick your kid up from school or whatever, you need to go to that top right and log out, and it'll save everything, and then you'll be able to log back in the next time. When you log in the next time, you'll just go to log in, which is on that right-hand side where you, instead of the first time user. So you've created your own password, and so then you'll have to use that code still, but you'll go to the log in the second time around, okay?
Mhm.
So you can see there how it pulls up and it'll tell, you know, the position, their leadership position as committee chairman, executive officer, when they took youth protection. And then you'll see it says boys life. And so if it says why, if they want it, and in if they don't want it, that's another fail safe that we get. And then the CBC authorization on file, that was the paper that with any of the adult applications, they have to fill out that authorization for us to do background checks on them.
For some of the membership incentives too, and I know how difficult this is, having run a unit for several years. I know if you start now in October trying to track down some of your members that you may not see very often, maybe you've had a scout who hasn't been showing up very regularly, or an adult who maybe their child aged out or whatever. And a lot of times we send out blanket emails. We don't, but you might send out blanket emails to those people or try to contact them, and it's hard getting a commitment whether they want to recharter or not. Now is a really good time to start that process so that you can pin them down, because you want that recharter as accurate as you can get. It saves you money, plus come incentive time, you know, you don't want to be carrying a lot of dead weight. So once, if they say, well, I don't want to recharter, and you don't recharter them, and then they come back in February or March and say, well, now I've changed my mind again, I want to join again, we'd ask them to complete a whole application process. I do not know if the one-time $25 fee would apply or not if they're re-registering after they've been dropped. I don't think it probably would, but I don't know for sure. That's a good question. That's a Dave question.
Yeah,
But it's just a lot easier if you have an accurate roster while you're chipping down through this. So I know it takes time. People are very slow sometimes to respond. And you can see the buttons on these as you work through this. This is just a PDF document that shows what the website will look like for you. Many of you have probably already done this, and you know what it looks like, and there's buttons that allow you to stop and check and go through those things. I know it's kind of a headache, but you can imagine nowadays how kind of concerning some of this has to be, and we're trying to do the very best we can to make everybody happy.
Anyone have any more questions for us?
I had one about the Scouting magazine. Do we still get that, or is it all going to be online now that we have to pay for, or what?
I can't answer that question for you, Kelly. We'll just have to check. I know there's question if Boys Life is going to continue or not, but at the currently, as far as we know, yes, Boys Life is continuing. The Scouting magazine, the adults don't pay for, they automatically get that. So if you're an adult and you register for Boys Life magazine, then you have to pay for it. But if you just want the Scouting magazine, then you automatically get that as a leader, as a registered.
Renee, the last I heard that Scouting magazine will be discontinued, but I don't know when.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
It's already been discontinued. It's only online now.
Okay. The other question that I have is online signatures are approved by National. I just got a verification late this afternoon, but I'm rechecking that. So if it is signed online, it should be okay.
But they still need to turn a printed, I mean, they need to print that still and turn it into us, correct?
At this point in time, it would be great to have them still print out the charter and submit it to us. I'm checking that with National. Things are changing every day on rechartering. The new stuff just got posted today. So please bear with us as we work through all the changes.
All right, any more questions?
How often does the Boys Life magazine come out?
Boys Life magazine is once a month.
Okay.
And if you have a new person that subscribes, it usually takes about 2 months. So you'll still get your full 6 subscriptions or whatever, 12 subscriptions, but it may be 2 months after you start. Or sometimes I'll send you 2 issues at one time.
Okay.
All right. If we don't have any more questions,
Well,
we'll let you guys.
Matt said that email would be more efficient. And I would say if you want to, I assume, Matt, what you're talking about is the Recharter paperwork. And Dave's here so he can weigh in on this. But it would, as far as I'm concerned, if you want to send an email with a PDF file with that on there, I think that's absolutely fine.
I think that would be great. You can email that into the office, and that would be fine.
Okay. Hopefully that'll make you guys' rechartering go a little bit easier. Again, we will get the updated national one up on the website, so you can refer to that when you need to. For now, start making sure that everybody is youth protection trained. You have applications for everybody, get them turned into us so we can get those entered into the system. And I think that does it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to apologize
Thank you.
for the breakout rooms. We'll figure out what the holdup was there. We thank Renee for being willing to do this not only once, but 1.5 times. Gracious of you, Renee. And
I still did it in an
I
hour.
did it in an
I'm
hour,
watching
so
the clock.
we'll be much more efficient next month. If you have suggested topics and things that would help you and be beneficial, please submit those to your respective DE or at the council office, however you wish to do that. Or if you get a chance to see a commissioner, you might talk to them as well. We're going to go to this format, at least for now, to try to reach out to as many volunteers as we can. And so I know there'll be one coming up regarding the use of Scout Book again, and particularly the the Den Leader app, the new Den Leader app. I know we'll be doing that. We may be talking about some Journey to Excellence things we can do, and we'll see if we can't get some of that working out. So those of you that have taken the time to tune in this evening, I really appreciate that, and be thinking about what we can do to help you make your job easier, I guess, and more meaningful.
For those who don't know, I'm Dennis McCarty, and that is not my picture on the screen. I am not a blonde with earrings and lipstick.
All lies.
So yeah, right. So I'm the membership chairman for the council, and by all means, please call on us as well for any assistance that you might need. And I will have a different picture up there next time. It'll be more appropriate probably. So thank you all for coming and being part of this tonight. And thanks Renee and Jim for taking care of this for us, putting this on. And I look forward to the next month's meeting.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, everybody, stay safe.
Have a good night. Thank you.
See ya. Bye-bye.